Welcome back to our Proverb Devotional, stopping by in Proverbs chapter 5. Listen to this. May your fountain be blessed and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. So, in this context, we continue to see Solomon throughout this book so far compare wisdom in a positive light and compare this strange woman in a rather negative light. We also see some deeper connotations to spiritual adultery effect. Okay. Wisdom being the word of God and the word you want to attend to, the wisdom you want to cling on to, the positive correlations there, and then the strange woman being representative of a false doctrine, false teaching, false apostles. And then it also has a physical adultery aspect to it. Okay. Physical and spiritual adultery both go hand in hand, spiritual adultery being greater than physical adultery, but nonetheless, both are really, really bad and not something you want to participate in. And so, this physical adultery, the strange woman representing someone that is not of your own love, your own wife, your own spouse, right? These things that are definitely pictured. And again, keep in mind that Solomon is teaching Rehoboam, his son, here. And of course, as many scholars allude to, this idea of a masterclass that Solomon potentially was giving to as he was sharing these proverbs. But pay attention to this right here, because this reveals a threefold meaning that I really want you to get, and then takes us even deeper to really where I want to really take this video. And so the first thing is understanding that this aspect of rejoicing in the wife of your youth. Okay. Well, in this context, throughout Proverbs chapter 5, we've seen a connection of wisdom being compared to a woman, wisdom given the context, the picture of a woman, one who is nurturing, one who will love you and protect you and keep you. And so, this perspective of wisdom being related to this wife of your youth. Okay. We want to pick up this wisdom when we're young. We want to pick up this wisdom of God when we are growing, when we are in adolescence, in young age, and we want to get acclimated to this wisdom. And as a result, right, we'll be blessed by this wisdom. We want to be ravished in the love of God. We want to have a relationship with God and grow old with God and not find God when we're old. But then there's also this context of rejoicing. Okay, this connection of rejoicing in the wife of your youth. And so when we consider the wisdom of God, when we consider the connotations that the wisdom of God is given, when we consider those things, it's actually rejoicing that's connected to truth. And this is kind of actually where I go to make this connection. And I'm going to travel to the New Testament because I think this is something that's really prevalent. Go to First Corinthians, obviously, chapter 13. Again, if you follow me for a length of time, I'm always over here in this chapter. But if you pay attention to the last couple lines, look at this. Verse 6: love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Right. And so throughout scripture, we kind of see these connections with rejoicing and truth. Okay. This connection that when there's truth present, rejoicing is typically a response. Okay, because truth is ultimately always appreciated, no matter how hurtful it can be. In the end, it's something that we all crave for and desire. That's why we get offended when we're lied at or lied to. And furthermore, Jesus is ultimately the person of truth. He is the embodiment of truth. And in him is their joy, peace, satisfaction, all those things. And so we want to rejoice in the wife of your youth. So you want to rejoice in the ravishing love of God, build a connection with God when you're young, not find him when you're old, and rejoice in truth. Rejoice that we have a connection to truth. Rejoice that we have a connection that is ravished and engraved in this love. So we also, thirdly, in the threefold, see the connection to the physical adultery aspect. Okay, so two, dealing with the spiritual connection to God, relationship with truth. And now look at this: a loving doe, verse 19 reads to us, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. And then verse 20, why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? And so this context reveals to us the importance of finding satisfaction in the wife of your youth. So it encourages a few things in that statement. One, that young marriage is not a bad thing. Right. So that's a huge encouragement, that young marriage is not a bad thing. You can suggest that it could be a wise move to not marry oh so young. However, young marriage is not a bad thing. And I think anybody who desires to be married young, I think, can be a beautiful thing. And it's something that you grow with someone else that you are marrying. Okay. Again, obviously, by definition, one man, one woman. But then furthermore, the one woman man aspect is present as well. It doesn't say wives of your youth, it says wife, one. of your youth. And so there's power behind this one woman that this man is then choosing to marry. Okay. He finds great compatibility with, he enjoys her company, he enjoys her presence, and the feeling is mutual. And not only is that the case, but then there's also these aspects of physical needs, sexual needs in this marriage that are met by one another. Therefore, these needs ought not to be looked to be met by anyone else outside of this covenant connection between this man and woman. So there's satisfaction, there's enjoyment, there's one wife in your youth, you're growing old together, you're doing life together. It's a beautiful thing. And it helps us to really reel in, and I guess in a way come away from the aspect that there's always something better. Instead of focusing on this perspective of there's always better or there has to be better. No, there's someone in front of me that I'm able to continue to learn, continue to grow with, continue to investigate, continue to commit to understanding and grow in this endless love that is centered in the love of Christ, that is within this relationship, that actually makes this marriage make sense. And there's so much already here that leaving this to try and duplicate it somewhere else is completely foolish and not the move. Because what's really beautiful in this is learning to love one woman 1,000 different ways instead of trying to experience this love with 1,000 different women. And even to top it all off, to be a follower and discipler of Jesus as men, why should we feel it's okay to have multiple wives when Jesus has one bride, that being the church? But I can leave that alone. And I really want to take this in a different place, I guess in a deeper manner, because there's a lot of divorces and a lot of separations, a lot of people who are getting in relationships, getting out of relationships. The idea of so many people treating marriage as contracts instead of covenants, and all these different kinds of ideologies that are floating around in our culture today. But if you ask me, just based off this text, I would suggest to you that a core issue and missing piece that gives somebody room to leave their own cistern, their own well, and no longer enjoy and be satisfied by the person and wife of their youth is lack of gratitude. And that seems so small and simple, but truthfully, a symptom of gratitude is enjoyment. And if we go back to this text, there is an enjoying factor. There's satisfaction in the wife of your youth. And as a result of finding satisfaction here, you'll be blessed. And I think a lot of people are not in a state or in a space of being blessed, living blessed lives, or being appreciative of the people that are in their life, the significant other that they have in their life, because all you focus on is what they don't have. Instead of acknowledging in some capacity to potentially give life to this relationship, what does this person do though? What do they have? What is it that I can actually show gratitude for about this person in this season instead of just focusing on what they fail to have? You know, kind of like the perspective of chasing the 20% and leaving the 80%. So this person has 80% of everything you want. But because of that missing piece of that 20, we zoomed in on that and that became bigger than it really was. And so we thought there's got to be something better out there. And I gotta go get it. And so now I'm chasing after the 20, leaving the 80. And we recognize when we get to the 20, it wasn't really all that we thought it was because they're missing the 80. And so it's like it's this whole ring around the rosy kind of deal where we're just walking and running in circles and trying to find somebody who has all of everything instead of just appreciating what this person has and actually playing a role in the relationship of investing and building what we feel would make the relationship that much better as people coming together as one. So I think here's the biggest application that we can take is get a hold of gratitude. Yes, even if you're single, this is still an exercise that I encourage you to do. I do it every day, and it's something that keeps me focused on the abundance in my life instead of zooming in on the lack in my life and what I may feel I'm without, and not looking for faults or looking for exits, but rather just taking in for appreciation who this person is to me and enjoying that while continuing to build for the other things that will make the relationship that much stronger. And here are 5 questions that I want you to get into the habit of asking yourself every day as you write out this gratitude list to start your day. Question 1, what are you deeply grateful for? Question 2, one person that you are grateful for who has made a positive impact on you recently. Number 3, looking inwardly, what are you most proud of about yourself? Number 4, what is one thing you are excited for today? And then number 5, write out why today is going to be a good day? These types of questions and answering this every day has brought me out of mindsets of comparison, has brought me out of places where I thought I was missing so much. I was missing out on so much. And it's those thought processes that steer us away from actually being focused on lenses of abundance and gratitude and actually moving forward into the day appreciative of where we are instead of wishing we were somewhere else, no longer being able to enjoy the people we're around, the season we're in, and actually taking it in for all that it's worth. So I appreciate you guys oh so much for tuning into this video. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and I appreciate you. And as always, until our next conversation, be easy and be breezy, my friend. Peace.